What's up, everyone? Ice Young here for Yahoo Sports, and joined today by honestly, one of my favorite players to watch growing up. She's a two-time WNBA MVP, three-time WNBA champion, also a basketball analyst, Candace Parker. Candace, thanks for joining me. How are you, and where are you?
I'm doing well. I am in Los Angeles, which is home,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping my kids keep quiet because we have two little ones. So don't mind if my 2-year-old just runs it. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. We won't mind at all. How has life been, after the W? You talk about the two kids, you have a 2-year-old. You've been so involved in the game, like through multiple roles in the broadcast, but also in business. So how has that been?
Everything's been great. I mean, obviously this summer was a little tough just in terms of adjusting to my first summer not playing in nearly 16 years. And so it was a little bit of an adjustment and took a little break from the game and couldn't watch it because it was just too new, but I can't stay away from the game very long. So I think it was like mid-June is when I finally was turning on games and excited to watch and from this new position of being a fan.
In terms of the Unrivaled League, the 3v3 women's basketball league that's coming in January. And I feel like it competes with the W in a number of ways, just being a pro league, but also salaries, equity, and the TV deal that it just got with a broadcast that you're very familiar with. What do you feel like is good about the competition that Unrivaled can bring to the W?
Well, anytime you have competition, you're raising the bar, and you're challenging, and it's what it is, competition. And so I think it's going to force the WNBA to look at themselves and figure out what they can do better, and how to better the player experience. I really valued looking at Unrivaled and how I think intentional they were about ensuring that the players were taken care of. Because guess what? When you're a player and you're taken care of and you feel like your needs are met, you're being paid well, there's going to be some pretty good basketball. And so I'm excited from the broadcast standpoint, it being at TNT, and we'll see, maybe I will be a part of that.
Yeah, we would obviously love to hear your voice on those games. With the WNBA, there have been a number of coaches that have been let go after the season. At one point, it was as high as seven. It's now currently five open head coaching positions. What's the shift that we're seeing right now with these positions in the W?
I think it's one of those things where we had huge growth
Mm.
within this last year. And with that, there's a lot of eyeballs, and with that comes a lot of scrutiny. And, at some point, sometimes it's easier, to be honest with you, to change, a coach or things like that than to trade or to move players or things like that to figure out if it's working. I think there's a lot of talent in this league from a player standpoint. I feel like there's a lot of expertise and value, and great coaches in this league. And so I think sometimes we look at firing as like, oh, they're not equipped or they're not able to handle the position. But I think it's really sometimes just fit and
Mm.
it's personalities. I can attest to that with my time with the Sparks and with the Sky and then with the Aces. There's a huge difference. And yes, X's and O's, but it's also connecting with the players and making sure that you have the right person that's the voice of your franchise.
Mm. The connection with the players and being the voice, do you feel like in that we are going to see more former players get some of these head coaching positions, maybe rather than coaches who coach at the collegiate level or came from the G League like we've seen in the past?
I hope so, but I just want the best person for the job. Um, I think it would be kind of counterintuitive to what we're trying to do as a league if we went in and said that this is how it's going to be. Now, like I think that former players should get a fair, attempt or a try at the job. I think that's the thing is just being able to have the interviews and things like that. And we've seen what that has done in the NBA, and especially not only from a former player perspective, but also different races. And now we're looking at different genders and things like that. And so I think it's in the WNBA, it's going to be a different process at which organizations are forced to hire head coaches because it's going to have to be more extensive and they're going to have to take a longer amount of time to figure out who's going to be the lead of their franchise.
Yeah, it's the pros and cons that come with the growth, right? And so these are growing pains for the league for sure. The last question for you, shifting to college basketball, which started yesterday. You were on the call for South Carolina women's basketball in their opening game. What storylines or players do you really have your eye on this season for us in women's college basketball?
Well, listen, I think college basketball right now, Paige Bueckers, you talk about JuJu Watkins, you go just South Carolina and their depth
Mm,
as a whole. So I think that it's one of those things where college basketball is in great hands. I think you have a lot of recognizable faces and individuals. I mean, you'd throw Hannah Hidalgo in there with her triple double, 30-point triple double yesterday. I
yep,
mean, there's
Olivia Miles. Yep.
yeah, or sorry, I said Hannah Hidalgo. My bad. Olivia Miles. My
Oh,
fault.
all
Same.
good.
But thanks for correcting me. But I think it's gonna be cool because the stage is gonna be set for
Mhm.
now other players to kind of take the light and the shine as well. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
see players like we saw yesterday, Silas Swords, who stepped into the spotlight against the defending national championship and put up 27
As a
uh,
freshman, like
as a
first
freshman. Exactly.
collegiate debut, ready to
Collegiate
go.
debut. And I think it's just going to be, it's going to raise the game even more because there's more eyeballs. And so what is it going to do? Now young kids are going to work on their game more and they're going to get better. And I think it's just exciting to watch the skill set and the development of the game as a whole.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's in the best of hands right now. And that's a thanks to you. So thank you so much for joining us and how you're continuing to grow the game both on and off the court with your inspiration and your presence.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.